Stop. Before you blame your eyesight, before you assume your face has simply changed with age, I want you to do something the next time you catch your reflection in a shop window. Don't look at your eyes. Don't look at your wrinkles. Look only at your glasses, because there's a very real chance they're adding years to your face, and nobody has ever pointed it out. Not because they're trying to be unkind, because most people don't even know what they're looking at. Here's the problem nobody warns you about. The frames that flattered you at 45 can quietly age you at 60. And most women never find out why, because the person selling them the glasses isn't trained to tell them. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 6 rules I use with every woman who sits across from me, frustrated, holding 3 pairs of glasses that all somehow make her look tired. One of these rules is going to explain something about your own face that you've probably noticed but never had language for. We'll count down from the easiest mistake to the one that changes almost everything. And stay with me until the end, because after the 6 rules, I'm giving you 3 bonus questions to ask before you ever buy another pair. Questions most opticians hope you never ask. Those 3 questions alone could save you from buying another pair you'll regret wearing 6 months later. And one more thing. Near the end, I'll tell you about a woman who almost stopped appearing on video calls with her grandchildren because of the glasses she was wearing. The transformation wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, but it completely changed the way she saw herself. Every week we talk about the small style decisions that make the biggest difference after 60, without chasing trends or pretending you need to look 30 again. If that's the kind of advice you've been searching for, subscribe now. Now, let's start with the mistake almost everyone makes first. Number 6, buying glasses for the face you remember instead of the face you have today. This one is incredibly common. Not because women have bad taste, because familiarity feels safe. Imagine opening an old photo album. You see yourself at 40, the same hairstyle, the same smile, the same glasses you've loved for decades. Without even realizing it, your brain quietly decides, those are my glasses. So when you shop again years later, your eyes automatically search for something almost identical. Same shape, same proportions, same feeling. But here's what nobody explains. Your face has been changing so gradually that you've adjusted to it without noticing. Your cheeks may be a little softer, your temples slightly different. Your brows may sit a touch lower than they once did. None of that is bad, it's simply life. But a frame designed to balance your face 20 years ago isn't balancing today's face anymore. It's fighting it. And when proportions fight each other, people don't notice the glasses. They notice that something feels slightly off. They just can't explain why. Here's the fix. Bring an old photo with you when you shop. Not to recreate the look, only to understand the colors that naturally suited your skin. Then challenge yourself. Try at least 3 frame shapes you've never worn before. Not because you'll necessarily buy them, but because your eyes need permission to see a different version of yourself. You'd be amazed how often the frame someone initially says, "Oh, that's not me," becomes the one they refuse to take off 15 minutes later. Because sometimes the biggest transformation isn't finding better glasses. It's letting go of an older version of yourself. That's the easy one. Number 5 gets a little more specific. Number 5, glasses sitting just a little too low. Most women don't notice this. Everyone else does. Not consciously, subconsciously. Here's what happens. As we get older, the bridge of the nose softens slightly. Frames that once stayed perfectly in place begin slipping a few millimeters lower throughout the day. Just a few millimeters. That's all it takes. Now your eyes sit lower behind the lenses, your eyebrows disappear, your face suddenly loses lift. Without realizing it, you begin looking over your glasses instead of through them. That tiny change sends an unexpected message. Tired, distracted, less alert. The strange part? You can feel completely energetic while your glasses quietly tell a different story. I've watched women replace perfectly good frames because they thought they looked old, when all they really needed was a simple adjustment. Nothing more. So here's what I want you to do the next time you try on glasses. Just stand perfectly still in front of the mirror. Lift the frame slightly with one finger, only a few millimeters. Now look again. Notice what happens around your eyes. Notice your brows. Notice how much more awake your face suddenly appears. The fix. Ask for adjustable nose pads if they're available. Then ask your optician to raise the frame until your eyebrows sit just above the top edge, not directly behind it. It's one of those tiny details almost nobody talks about. Yet once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. And the next mistake surprised even me the first time I noticed it, because it has almost nothing to do with shape and everything to do with color. Number 4, frames too thin for your coloring. Here's what changes quietly after 60. Skin tone softens, hair often lightens or grays. And the ultra-thin wire frames that once looked so delicate can now wash you out completely, disappearing into your face instead of framing it. I've seen it happen in the mirror in real time. A woman puts on a pair of fine wire frames, and instead of her face lighting up, it just fades. Not because the frame is bad, because it no longer has enough presence to hold its own against her changing coloring. The fix is simple. Choose a frame with slightly more color saturation, or a touch more width than feels instinctive. It gives your face something to anchor to, something for the eye to land on before it even reaches yours. Number 3, ignoring lens heights. This one is sneaky because it has nothing to do with style at all. Here's why it matters. As up-close vision changes, many women need progressive or bifocal lenses. But if the frame is too shallow, there is enough vertical room for the lens to transition properly, forcing your chin up or your head tilted back just to read. And that tilt shows up in every single photo as strain, as tiredness, as squinting that was never really about your eyes. The fix. Ask specifically for a frame with at least 30 millimeters of lens height if you're using progressives. It's a number. Write it down. Bring it with you. Number 2, matching the frame to your brow instead of working with it. Here's the mechanism. Brows can sit slightly lower and softer after 60, and a straight, flat frame top can flatten your whole eye area right along with it. It's subtle. Nobody points a finger at the frame and says, "That's the problem." They just sense that something in the face looks a little heavier, a little more tired than it should. The fix. Look for a subtle brow line detail, a slightly heavier or contrast-colored top edge on the frame, because it lifts the eye visually the same way a good brow shape does. It's a small detail with an outsized effect. And that brings us to number 1, the one that ties everything else together. Number 1, choosing frame width, based on your face at rest, instead of your face when you're actually living in it. Here's why this is the one that matters most. Every rule so far has been about proportion and placement, but this one is about life, about how your face actually moves when you're laughing, listening, talking to your grandchildren on a video call. Most women choose glasses standing still in front of a mirror, face neutral, and that's the one moment your glasses will least often be seen in. The fix. When you try on a frame, smile, talk, look down and up. Watch how the frame moves with your expressions, not just how it looks frozen. A frame that only works when your face is still isn't actually working for you. It's working for a photograph. And you deserve glasses that work for your actual life, animated and expressive, not just for a single held pose. All right, 3 rapid bonus questions before we go. Most people never ask them. They should. 1, always ask to see the frame in natural daylight, not just under store lighting, because warm store bulbs can hide how a color actually reads on your skin. 2, ask your optician directly what the pantoscopic tilt is set to. That's the angle of the lens relative to your eye, and even a couple degrees off can change how sharp your reading vision feels. 3, ask if the frame has spring hinges. After 60, frames get taken on and off more often throughout the day, and spring hinges dramatically extend how long a frame holds its shape. I want to tell you about a woman named Diane. Diane came to me at 64 holding a pair of glasses she'd bought 6 months earlier and barely wore. She told me she looked washed out and old every time she caught her reflection, and she'd quietly started avoiding video calls with her grandkids because of it. When we sat down together, the issue was immediately clear: thin wire frames, sitting a touch too low, chosen entirely under store lighting that had lied to her the whole time. We went through the rules together: a slightly bolder frame, a proper height adjustment, and I had her try them on while talking, not just standing still. The moment she laughed and saw how the frame moved with her face in the mirror, her whole posture changed. She sat up straighter. She told me it was the first time in years she felt like her glasses were part of her, not something covering her up. She's since told me she takes video calls again without a second thought. Here's what this really comes down to. Glasses aren't just a tool for seeing. They're one of the most visible things on your face every single day, in every photo, every conversation. Getting them right isn't vanity. It's about being seen the way you actually want to be seen, instead of disappearing behind a choice you made in a hurry, under bad lighting, prioritizing convenience over yourself. You've spent decades taking care of everyone else first. This is one small decision where you get to put yourself first, and it's worth taking seriously. If this helped you look at your own glasses differently, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments, which one of these 6 rules did you not know?